Kathleen here. Today I want to work with a little bit that's specific for the shoulder girdle. Some strengthening exercises, some stability exercises, some flexibility exercises. Some of you that have taken class with me before have done this series before, so this will be familiar and it'll be a little review you can follow along with. For those of you that haven't, just focus on what I'm saying, watch a little bit of what I'm doing, and see how it feels in your body. Everybody's range of motion is going to be a little bit different. If you have a lot of shoulder injuries, if you have any kind of rotator stuff, if you had surgery, one side might be a little different than the other, and so just work within what's comfortable for you. We will need props. You have lots of options to choose from. You happen to be blessed enough to have your own set of yoga blocks at home, always super good. One is all we need for today. If you don't have something like this, maybe you have something like this. Right, this actually has oats in it. Doesn't have to have the oats, about the same size, just something you can push your hands into. I also like this, right? Any kind of jug, jar, milk jug, maybe empty, probably gonna be too heavy if it's got something in it, but just enough that you can have a little bit of something to hold on to. Other options maybe, especially if you have children, maybe there's some sort of ball, kick ball, always fun. Again, just something that can allow you the space to hold your hands about shoulder width apart. That's what we're looking for here. I'm going to stick with my block. You use what you've got. Other options we can work with here today, a theraband. Doesn't matter what kind of resistance you've got. This is an actual theraband. You may have like a monster band, or you might have one of those that's already looped. That's super cool too. If you don't have something that's elastic, you can work with something that isn't. This is a yoga strap, but a belt would be just as good. A really long tube sock, a pair of pantyhose. Who wears those anymore? So those kinds of things, just so that you have those options to work with these two specific props and something that's comparable to them. So we are going to get started seated. This can be done seated, and it can be on the floor, it can be in a chair, it can be standing, whatever is most comfortable for you. I'm going to choose to be seated here just because it's simpler for me to explain it. We're going to start with a little bit of warm-up. Shoulder blades moving up, back, and down. What I want you to notice here is just, can you feel the difference in each side? Can you allow just your shoulder blades to move? Can you feel the pops and the cracks? That's okay, that's normal. And then we're going to go the opposite way. Take it around. I'm at Eddie's favorite spot, the sun. In the opposite direction. Good. And then a lot of things I see with people who have issues with their range of motion in their shoulders is actually issues with ranges of motion in their neck as well. So what I want you to focus on here is sitting up as tall as you can. We're going to do just some movements with your head. Nothing else is going to move. Shoulders stay where they are, collarbones stay nice and broad, sits bones balance if you're sitting down, balance on your feet if you're standing up. We're going to look just to the right with just your head, and back to the center, and then just to the left. And we pet the kitten on the way. We come through the center, we go just to the right, and just to the left. And notice like nothing else is moving here. We're keeping all of this stable. This is functional movement. You know what this is? Backing up in the driveway. That's right. One more time each way. Can you move your head, or does your whole body want to follow? And then we'll bring it back to the center. Another one of my favorites here. Side to side, harder than it looks, without moving anything but your head. I say that. I'm going to say it again. Let the ear go to the shoulder. Notice I'm not shifting my whole body weight over there to make this look like I'm going further. It's not helping, right? Just the head. And then again, over to the opposite side. You can see the difference there even in just how I move. But notice how it feels to you. One side I feel like it's easier to get to. One side feel like it's incredibly difficult to get to. Does the strain feel different in each place, in each direction? And we're going to add on a little bit more here. This is one of my favorite neck stretches. We're going to take it over to the right side. I'm mirroring you. We're going to keep nice and lifted, even length on both sides of the waist. We're still connected to both sits bones. Our shoulders have not moved at all. You're going to take your chin like you're trying to touch it down towards your right shoulder. And you'll feel the stretch all across the front of your neck, into the collarbone, into the front of the shoulder. From here, keeping the head at that angle, you're going to look up towards the corner of your room, but with your chin. Yeah, feel a little bit more here in the front. You can always use your right hand just as a guide to kind of keep that shoulder where it is on the left side. Once more, down towards that shoulder, up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to bring it back down. We're going to drop it through the center just once. Little rock side to side. And then nice and slow, we're just going to bring it all the way back up to a nice tall seat. Taking it to the other side. Here we go. First we go, then we find that rotation. And this side might be like, whoa, I don't know about this. And that's okay. Use your opposite hand just as a guide to keep the other shoulder where it is. And then see if you can turn just your chin up to the ceiling. And once more. Down towards the shoulder. And up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to bring it back down once more. Chin to the chest. Little rock from side to side. You got options here. This is always great for the back of the neck. Just the weight of the head. Back stays tall. If you want to circle it all the way around, make a big circle. Nothing scary though. Your head turns all the way around. We got other problems. Bring it back into the center. Come all the way up. Simple neck stretches, simple neck movements, really healthy for the range of motion, right? Super important. Getting back into the shoulders. This is where your band comes in handy. All right, your band, your belt, maybe even your broomstick. You got a lot of options. We're gonna hold it nice and wide, as far apart as our hands can go here, with a nice, solid, stable grip. And we're gonna give it just a little bit of a pull. And then from here, we're just going to take the arms both at the same time, up over the head, watch your hair, and then we're going to take it back. Now, you may be right here. You may be right here. You may get all the way down to the floor or to the back of your butt there. That's okay too. You decide what feels best for your shoulders. What I want you to notice, especially if you can watch yourself do this somewhere, is can you allow both shoulders to move at the same time? Nothing crazy like this, right? Don't let that one shoulder do all the work for the other. If this is too intense, don't take it as far back, right? This can be a lot of range of motion for somebody who's got some rotator cuff stuff, old injuries, new injuries, you name it. But we're letting the shoulder blades just kind of rotate across the back of the body there. The arms there, the humeral head in the shoulder socket, entertaining the kitten at the same time. Again, too, if this is also too much, widen your hands farther apart. Oh no, here we go, one more time. And then all the way back over, and then we're going to bring it back down, okay? Next, same setup, maybe a little further apart if that was too much for you there. We're going to keep the right hand where it is. The left arm's going to come up, and it's going to reach behind, almost like we're pulling back the string of a bow in a very strange way. And then we're going to alternate sides. So we're getting a lot of range of motion in the shoulders. If this doesn't feel comfortable, keep it small, right? So maybe for you, your range of motion is up and down, up and down, right? If it's comfortable to allow for that pull to bring it back farther behind you, do it. If it isn't, don't. I am not there to tell you one way or the other. I just have to trust you. One more on each side. Up and over. And back together. And last time over here. Up and over. And back together. And let it come down. We feeling it? I am. All right. A little bit more. Little expansion of the chest here. Slightly closer together on your band. If you've got your belt, you may need to be a little farther apart. We're going to give it just a little pull. Let it open. Let it close. Let it open. He acts like he's never seen me do this before. Let it close. Let it open. And let it close. We got 5 more. Open. And close. And 4. That's right, I'm counting. And close. And 3. And close. And 2. One more time. Whew. And bring it back together. Set it down. Any kind of movement that you need to make here. Okay? All right. We're going to target that rotator cuff. Same thing with your band. We got our elbows down by our sides. Shoulders are down. Collarbones are broad. If you can't sit here like this with your legs crossed without hitting the tops of your knees, find a position that you can sit in that will allow your hands to open out to the sides. I'm going to switch to crossing my legs because this one's bothering me here. All right. Again, elbows are glued to your sides. Your rib cage is pulled in slightly. We're sitting on top of the sits bones, or we're standing on the bottoms of both feet nice and solid. We are not allowing the wrists to flex or extend. So there's none of this and there's none of this. Your pinky fingers here are going to pull out to the sides and then come back in. This is super simple. You see the range of motion I've got? We don't want to go much farther than that. That's it. You'll feel the difference on each side. One arm is going to feel like it needs to move away from your body. Concentrate on keeping that arm where it is. The other arm might not feel much of this at all. You might feel a lot of this. This could be a ton. We're going to do 5 more. We're still breathing. I distract you by talking. 4. That's right. 3. I know those tricks too. And 1. All right, we bring it back in. Same setup. Flip your hands. Again, no flexing, no extending. Straight wrist, like you're balancing a tray on the top of your hands. Your your thumbs are out to the sides. Your pinky fingers are in. The same movement here. If this is too intense, widen the grip on the band or the belt. Give yourself a little bit of slack, right? This is rotator cuff. I like this because it works both at the same time, and I can really kind of feel the difference in both. We got 5 more. 4. 3. 2. These are expensive bands, Eddie. And 1. He doesn't care. All right. How are we feeling? It's hot in here. Okay. Set that down. Let it move around. Grab your box, your block, your box of oats, whatever it is you require here. Something like the shape of this. We're going to take our hands, this time, out in front. Okay? So what we're working with here, and I'll turn to the side for a moment because I want you to really focus on keeping your ribs in. So as I'm sitting tall, what I want to think about is as my arms lift up, pretend I'm holding my block, I'm not letting my body arch, right? Yeah, this feels great, but I'm hyperextending, I'm overextending, I'm doing all kinds of terrible things. We're trying to keep everything engaged. So a little bit of pressure in your hands. I usually do about 20 to 30% pressure. That's all we need. Just pushing in to the hands, into the block, whatever it is you're holding. Soften the elbows. Don't lock them out, especially if you're hyperextenders in your arms. We keep the ribs in. From here, all we're going to do is just let the arms lift, and they're only going to go to the point where you start to feel like your ribs arch. This is it for me. And then I bring it back down. And the only thing that's moving are my arms. This is harder than it looks. I've had a lot of practice. We take it up nice and slow. We bring it in. We do 5 more. Up. And down. And 4. And down. Really concentrating on those ribs and that belly button. 3. And down. 2. And down. One more time. 1. Lower it down. Take a second. All right? We should be feeling it. I feel it all across the front of my ribs. I feel it a little bit on the inside, the underneath of both arms as I'm pressing into the hands. This is really good for shoulder issues, elbow and wrist issues as well. The strength of holding the block or the box or whatever it is you've got there in between your hands, pressing into your palms, really is going to help engage all the way up to the top of the arm. So think about this work as coming from the top of your arm, not just your hands. All right, here we go. We're going to make it a little harder. It's my catchphrase. All right, this time, we're going to keep it soft on the way up, our 20 to 30% hold. We're going to inhale. We get to the height of our lift. As we exhale, we go 50 to 60% squeeze. We lower down. Don't lock those elbows out. That's the tricky part. All right, here we go. Inhale, we lift, just holding the block, making sure it won't fall. 50 to 60% squeeze on the way down. And again, soft hold on the way up. 50%, 60% squeeze on the way down. We have 5 more. Soft on the way up. Here comes my mascot. Squeezed on the way down. I think I said 4. Soft on the way up. Squeeze on the way down. 3 more. Soft on the way up. Squeeze on the way down. 2 more. Soft on the way up. Squeeze on the way down. We got 1 more time. Soft up. Squeeze it down. Take a second. Take a rest. Come here, Eddie. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're going to do it again as soon as the cat moves. All right. This time I'm going to face you guys. Come here, baby. Come sit with me. I know. Okay. Same setup. This time, 50% squeeze on the way up. Keep those ribs in. Release the squeeze. Let it lower down. We're going for a total of 8. So this is 7. Squeeze it hard on the way up, but don't lock your elbows. And then release on the way down. We got 6 more. Squeeze it in. Release it down. And 5. Squeeze it in. Release it down. 4 more. Squeeze. And release. And 3. Squeeze. And release. And 2. Squeeze. And release 1 more time. Squeeze. And release. Whew, there we go. Go that way. Go do something. Okay. From here, a little bit more work with the shoulders, with the block. All right, I'm going to turn once more to the side so you can see the view, what we're working with here. Protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades. In layman's terms, we're moving our shoulders away from our ribs and then back to them. Holding your block, long ways once more. Arms out in front, okay? Think about your shoulder blades are sliding away from your spine and then pulling back towards it. Away and pulling back. Away and pulling back. Away and pulling back. We got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a second, okay? Now, we're going to do a little elevation and depression of your shoulder blades, not your mood. All right, from here, we're going to take our block to the height that we feel where our ribs start to poke out, okay? Pressing in just about 20%. We're going to shrug up those shoulders and then release. And shrug and release. And shrug and release. And shrug and release. We got 4 more. Shrug, release, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Set the block down. Okay. All right. We should be feeling a lot in our shoulders, in our arms. Let's do this. Just a little bit of some shoulder stretches. All right. So we remember our neck stretches from the beginning. Always good to come back to. In the meantime, for the shoulders, for the arms, specific ones that I really like. Across the front. Grab a hold. And give that arm a pull back. That's my futon he's scratching on. All right. Feel it press to the the wall behind you, let the shoulder release down away from the ear. Sometimes I even kind of like to play with a little movement, that's right, of the head. And then that same arm, it's going to reach back behind here. You have options. My personal favorite is just to grab it with the opposite hand and let it pull up. If you want to get super duper fancy, you can reach that other hand down. Maybe you can touch fingertips. Maybe you can grab fingertips. Maybe you hold a strap. Work with what you got. And we're going to let that come down. We're going to take it across the front to that opposite side. You know, and I'm not picking a side to start with here just because you've got two of them. Do one, then do the other. And then from here, we're going to take the arm behind the head, touch the back of the neck area. Opposite arm comes up. Maybe you just reach for the elbow. Maybe you get a little pull. Feel the difference in each side. If you want to reach, turn that palm back away from you. Maybe you can touch fingertips. And release it down. My personal favorite, shoulder stretch for the rhomboids and mid-traps. So those of you who usually spend a lot of time sitting at a desk, maybe that desk is at home now. That's okay. But the fact of the matter is, we need some movement in our upper back and shoulders. We're going to do our eagle arms. That's right, like the bird. We're going to reach first, variation number 1, for your shoulder blades behind you. Maybe you just touch them, and you use your hands to kind of pull them apart against your back. Elbows are lifted up above the boobs. Shoulders are down away from your ears. Variation number 2. Keeping those elbows locked, touch the forearms back to the backs of each other. All right? Variation number 3, maybe you get really crazy and you can touch your palms together. Wherever you are in variation 2 or 3, you want your elbows to be in line with the tops of your shoulders, and you want to energetically press your hands just a little bit away from your face. And this should feel really nice in your mid-back, right in between those shoulder blades. If you're very tight back there, this cross of the arms might not even happen just yet. So we got to work there. We're going to put the other arm on top, whichever one it was you didn't just do. You only got 2. Variation number 1, maybe this is it. Maybe you're like, let me see. And then you're like, nope, that's okay, go back, right? We always have choices. Backs of the hands together. Maybe the palms wrap around and they touch, that's cool too. Elbows are in line with the shoulders, the hands press actively away from your face. You have to keep the elbows twisted together in order to feel the benefit of this stretch. If your arms come untwisted, but you can get your hands together, you're not going to get the same feeling. So keep that in mind. And then we're just going to let it go. Give them a couple circles. All right, we got one more here we're going to play with. You have options. Going to reach your hands to the small of your back, clasping your fingertips. Now here's the challenge. Put one thumb on top. I usually go with my left one because that's the one that feels most comfortable. So that's what I'm going to go with first. Your first option is just to bring a little bit of straightness into the elbows. Maybe you bring a lot of straightness in the elbows and you allow your hands to press down towards the floor if you're sitting, or even towards the floor if you're standing, but a little closer behind you. All right, if you want even more, press the heels of your hands together to touch. If they don't, keep those elbows soft. You're still going to get the stretch you need. Now, here's the question. Why did you ask me to pick a thumb, Kathleen? Because we're going to do the other one here in a second. That's right. It's the other one on top. Maybe it feels like someone else's hand. Who knows? Maybe it's just nice to hold hands with someone, even if it's just yourself. And then gently here, release it, let it come down. Just a little bit of movement in the spine, a little curl, a little arch. I'll do one more each way. A little curl. And a little arch. And then just a little twist from side to side. Feet, legs can be wherever they are. If you're sitting in a chair, you can just reach to the side. And then reach to the other side. Just finding a little bit more of that length. And then this time, instead of taking a side bend, we'll take a little twist. Just looking over that one shoulder. Turn your head. See if you can turn your head. That's right. And bring it back up. And again. And bring it back together. Awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be working with a few more series of things, things I like to do and things that I think everybody can really benefit from, with a little bit more explanation of what it is we're doing in between. I appreciate your patience with Eddie, my beautiful kitten wandering around, photobombing every video that I make. It's either that or I put him out and he scratches on the door the whole time. So it's one or the other. Anyway, peace and love to you all. I will see you soon.